Okay, so thank you. Yeah, hello class. First of all, happy new year to all of you. And so in this semester we are going to learn computer system architecture, and in the last semester we have studied operating system. So these two subjects are very different. You have operating system, what is it, and in this semester the computer system architecture means that the hardware and the information is flowing from one hardware to another through the instructions. So we will study that. So I have shared the syllabus with you, and those who have not yet seen that syllabus, I am going to give you brief overview of the syllabus of this paper. So we need to follow one book, and that will cover entire syllabus, which is Computer System Architecture by Maurice Mano, and third edition, and it is published by Printers Hall of India, PHI. So it's available online, and I will share you the link that from where you can download this book so that you can study. Okay, so you don't need to purchase a hard copy, and if you purchase it will be good for you, but it's available online, so you need to study means 2-3 pages daily, and that will be enough, because yes, the syllabus is not very vast. So the from the first chapter, which is digital logic circuits, we need to study only first 28 pages from the chapter, and the topics that we are going to cover in the first chapter is digital logic gates, as you can see here in this slide. The logic gates, Boolean algebra, map simplification, and combinational circuit, flip-flops, sequential circuits, memory components, integrated circuits. And from the chapter 2 we have to study the following topics, that Boolean algebra and the logic circuit simplification using this Boolean algebra, and Karnaugh map, don't care conditions, combinational circuits, sequential circuits, encoders, decoders, multiplexers, binary adder, subtractor, binary incremental registers in memory units. And chapter 3 is dedicated to the data representation, in which we have to study the various number systems like binary system, decimal, hexadecimal, and octal system, right? And apart from that, we need to learn that how can we represent the floating point numbers. So that is your third chapter, which is from 3.1 to 3.4, and then we have to study 4 more chapters: chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 8, and 11. In chapter 4 we have to study register transfer and micro operations. So in this chapter we will discuss about registers and various micro operations, like for moving moving the instructions, instruction for the increments, decrements, and other instructions like jump, loop, return. So these are the instructions we basically do in the programming, and how the hardware react to it, and which instructions, and how to write that instructions, and how the information flows from one device to another. So so and then we need to study about the basic computer organization and design, and the programming the basic computers in chapter 8. And at last we will end this the entire syllabus with chapter 11, where we have to study input and output organization. Okay, so in this class, let's start with your first chapter, which is only the introduction part. I'm going to cover in this, right? So chapter 1 is, as I told you, we'll start with the logic gates. So logic gates means the various combinations of different type of gates that perform operations. Okay, various operations, like the gates are AND or NOT. Okay, and we have this gate is like XOR, NOR, XNOR, NAND. So these are the gates. Actually, these are the small units that combines with each other, and we form a architecture, or we form architecture for the different operations of different devices like RAM, ROM, and so these are the basic units. Basically, the basic operations that are performed using these gates. So as we are studying the computer system architecture, and we are talking of the digital computers. So the digital computer is a system that performs various computational tasks, and here the digital means the numbers, the digits. So when the digits comes to our mind, we have when computer and digits comes to our mind, we will think of the binary digits like 0 and 1. But apart from that, we have other systems that we have to study in chapter 3. But a brief introduction about these digits are: the binary digits are 0, 1, and decimal digits are 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9, and octal digits are 0 to 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 7. And for the hexadecimal, we have the digits from 0 to 15. So and as you know, the computer system is composed of its hardware and the system software. Is the combination of hardware and softwares, and the hardware of the computer is divided into some major parts, or we can say the blocks, like input block, processing block, and output block, and a memory block. So we know all about the basic architecture of the computers. And now, as I talked about the computer architecture or computer system architecture is, so what is this? So how you will define the computer system architecture? So computer architecture is concerned with the structure and behavior of the computers as seen by the user, and it includes information formats, instruction set, techniques for addressing memory. So when we think of a computer, we have different type of units or blocks. As I just told you, that we have the input unit, we have the memory unit, processing unit, or output unit. So how these units are interconnected to each other, and how the information flows from one hardware devices to other devices. So that's we need to study. And the information flows through the through the operations, right? So, or as from in the operating system, we study how the system calls through the system calls we invoke a hardware device, like printing something from the printer. So this is the print command. So how this command, and what are the structure, or what are the architecture behind that, and how it happens that a computer understands the signals. So what are the various mathematical operations behind that. So it invokes a hardware, and by clicking on this command, it performs the operations. So in this class, we will tell you about only the logic gates, okay, not or other things like Boolean algebra, maps, specification, combinational, flip-flop, sequential, memory, and integrated circuits. Like, so when we talk about the logic gates, so logic gates means so we have I have already covered that what is the digital computers and how the digital information the computer deals with. So this is the so before going to the logic gates, I will actually tell you the difference between the combinational logic block and the sequential logic, right? Combinational, actually in book it is given that combinational circuits and sequential circuits. So we have the different types of circuits, and the major type of circuits are combinational and sequential. Combinational circuits or combinational logic blocks means whose output value depends only on the input value, okay. But on the sequential block, the output value depends on the input value as well as the state of the blocks. A state is the stored information, and what is the information that is stored on that particular state, right? And so this is basically the definition of gate. Actually, that we have different type of gates, and it accepts some input and gives some output, and the output of the gate not only depend on the input but also the information that it has already stored, okay. So when we talk about the combination, means combination of various types of gates, and it creates a circuit, right? So that circuits that the circuits that made up of the combination, or by combining the different type of gates, is known as combinational circuits, right? And functions of gates can be described by truth table, Boolean function, Karnaugh map, and etc. So we have these gates. So the basic gates, logic gates, are and here you can see that we have two inputs A and B, and the one output is X. The symbol is this, and this is the function X A dot B or X A B, and the truth table is means if both the inputs are true, then it gives the true, or in other words we can say that if both inputs are 1, then it outputs as 1, it results as 1, otherwise 0. And here we have other gate, which is OR gate. OR is both inputs, if both inputs are 0, then it evaluates to 0, or it results in 0, otherwise 1. It's denoted by this symbol, and the operation is X is equal to A plus B. Here we have dot operation, here we have the addition operation or plus operation, right? Then we have the NOT gate or invert gate. Invert gate is I, and invert means that the information is it inverts the information, Okay, so if you give the 0, it inverts to it 1. If you give 1, it inverts it to 0, right? And then we have a buffer is just the storage. So whatever it gives, whatever you give it to, it doesn't invert or anything. Okay, so that's why we have this input 0, then it is 0, then 1, then it is 1. Then we have an AND gate, which is the invert of this AND gate. So here we have AB, and the symbol is just here we have is negation sign or negation symbol, which is like 0, and then we have XB, AB, and then negate. So this table is negate. Okay, so here we have in the case of AND, we have when we have both the inputs are 1, then it results in 1. So in the NAND gate, what will we evaluate? It will evaluate the opposite of this. So when both inputs are 1, it will evaluate to 0, otherwise 1. So we have this table 1 1 1 0. So it's just the negation of AND gate. And for the NOR gate, it negates the OR gate. So it's the complement of the OR gate. So here we have this in the OR gate we have 0 if both the inputs are 0. Here we have 1 if both the inputs are 0, otherwise 0. Okay, so it's like this. And XOR gate, which is also known as exclusive OR, the symbol of XOR gate is this, and this is denoted by A XOR B, and then if both the inputs are different, then it's evaluate to 1, otherwise 0. And this is, you can here read this table as 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 1. So here you can note down one thing, that the output is 1 1 in the case where the one of the input is or the both inputs are different. Okay. And now if the inputs are same, then it will evaluate to 0, right? And then XNOR is the opposite of the XOR gate, or we can say that it complements the XOR gate, right? So XNOR means XOR followed by NOT gate. So the symbol is this is the symbol, and here we have X XOR A XOR B, the negation of A XOR B or complement of A XOR B, right? You can read whatever it is. So you can read this dash here as negation or complement. So here, because this gate, XNOR gate, is the negation or the opposite to the XOR gate. So in this case, if both the inputs are different, then the output will be 0, and if both the inputs are same, the output will be 1. So here you can also see the truth table of this, right? So this is the truth table. So that's all for today's class, others and con of math. Okay, so thank you.